Good morning, Wayne. Sorry about your LSU Tigers last night, but it is right now time to skip the BS. It's time for Undisputed. Hey, it's time for me to say I stand corrected. The odds makers were correct. Iowa should have been favored over LSU. Hey, I thought LSU would win by 10 because LSU was a paint mismatch for Iowa. And by the way, LSU did win the boards last night, 54-36. Did have 23 offensive rebounds to only 6 for Iowa. Did dominate at the rim for long stretches of this game. But last night, LSU had no answer for Caitlin Clark, who is the realest deal. She made 9 threes. She made 4 in the third quarter when she took over the game with her Steph Link threes and her Stockton-esque passing. And Iowa got revenge for last year's national championship loss by leading by as many as 14, winning 94-87, a game that actually wasn't that close. This is what LSU coach Kim Mulkey said she told Caitlin Clark in the postgame handshake line.
She's just a generational player, and she just makes everybody around her better. That's what the great ones do. Caitlin Clark's not going to beat you by herself. It's what she does to make those other teammates better that helps her score points and them score points to beat you. What did I say to her? I said, I sure am glad you leaving. I said, girl, you something else. Never seen anything like it.
Interesting. Okay, now let's see what Paul Pierce and Keyshawn Johnson saw in this game. Start with you, Paul. Biggest reason Iowa won what no doubt will be the most watched women's college basketball game ever.
I mean, the obvious answer is Caitlin Clark. But let me tell you something before I get to her. I was mesmerized by her. And I will tell you this. This was the greatest performance I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament, girl or boy. Greatest performance.
On this biggest stage?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because rarely does a game like this live up to its hype.
Yeah.
You know, rarely do you have the two superstars play like superstars, because you got to understand the scout report is geared to stop you. You know, all the hype coming into this is going to be people who've never watched a girls' basketball game watched.
That is
a lot of
correct.
people watched for the first time yesterday and saw the potential in a girl who's been in the spotlight all year long live up and even to me surpass what I expected from her yesterday. Did I expect her to get like 25, 26, you know, around 8 or 9 assists? But when you go out there with the scouting report geared to stop you in the biggest game of your life that wasn't a championship game and perform like this, Skip, Coach said it after, generational player. This is Steph Curry's influence. Now, I've never compared a female basketball player to an NBA player. You know, most of your comparables are to other female players. You know, you got Lisa Leslie and
which one?
Tina, you know, Candace Parker and Tina, you know, Cheryl
Shanika Holmes-Clark.
They all comparable.
Yeah.
Cheryl Miller.
Cheryl Miller, they're all comparable. But
Cynthia
my only comparable to her is Steph Curry.
That's true.
And I'm like, I've never seen anything like it. So hats off to this game, to the players that performed in it. Angel Reese was spectacular, 17 and 20. Really did her thing. But like I said, these type of games never live up to the hype.
They don't.
This surpassed what I expected yesterday.
She did everything I expected her to do if they were going to win the game, which is, she shot, she shot 20, she shot 23s, which I expected her to. But I also expected her to penetrate and drive to the hoop, dish and do all those 12 assists in the game. You know, look, it lived up to the hype. As I was telling Paul earlier, I've never watched 8 quarters of women's basketball a day in my life. I just haven't. In one day.
Your school was playing in the second game.
No, I understand that, but I've never watched 8 quarters of women basketball.
And I believe there are a whole lot of U's out there.
Yeah,
I
but
think a
I've
whole lot
watched
of people watch
USC since I was a kid because
have.
we've always had great teams going all the way back to when I was a young kid and Cheryl Miller to the
By
point
the way,
where
condolences on Juju Watkins because she played her heart out last night, and she just couldn't get there.
couldn't finish it.
No,
couldn't finish the
it.
deal. But look, if you think about with Caitlin Clark, the most impressive thing for me is that she played from beginning to end. She played 40 minutes.
Yep.
I've never seen, now a couple players in the game play 40 minutes, but I've never seen somebody play the entire game. I've never seen that. Somebody usually get a break. You usually gonna get 3 minutes, you're gonna get a cup of water, they're gonna let you rest up a little bit. Not at all. They made the decision that she's gonna play the entire from wire to wire, and she was able to do it. Delivering 41 points, okay? She shot 29 times. There's a lot of shooting, but she still was hitting and making it. They had no answer for it. On the flip side of things, LSU defensively, well, I can't even, Johnson, I'm just going to say her last name because I don't want to mess her first name up. Flage. Once she got into foul trouble, the rest was history. It just because they didn't really have an answer defensively for her, for Caitlin Clark. And then once Angel Reese got hurt, because she started off hot. And once she kind of hurt her ankle a little bit, things kind of slowed down. You could tell, even though she had 20 rebounds, some of those rebounds she couldn't even put back up in the rim because it was almost she had no lift, Skip.
Yep.
It was an exciting game, man. She went up against some dogs, no question about it.
Yep.
Some woof-woofs, not no puppies.
No, they're not puppies.
I want to see what happens now in the next game against Connecticut.
Yeah.
Because she's got another test in Connecticut. And if she get past that, I'm sure South Carolina's going to take care of business against NC State. Then that'll be even another tough test. And if she checks those boxes, I don't know what else to say about her legendary career in college basketball.
It wouldn't even be the same, though, level. This had the feel of a championship game.
It did.
It did, but I think Connecticut, I think that still will have a feel of a championship game because it's going to be built. We got, 3 days to build it up?
Well, it's still Friday night.
Yeah, so we got 3 days to really put the yeast on it.
And by the way, Gino Auriemma called Paige Beckers recently the best player in America.
But see, and I was telling Paul, Paige Becker, to me, watching her against USC, she just looks, I don't know, she just looks different.
What you mean she looked different?
She looks a little smoother.
You said that you like her better than Kate.
Yeah,
come on. He said he liked her better
I thought you were going to go the other way.
No,
Are you kidding?
She
Could she beat your school?
No, just I think I just like the way she just looks smoother to me.
He said that she was better.
Yeah, I think
She
was
had
better.
a monster game.
He said she was better.
Hey,
I just think,
Keisha.
to me, she's a better player. But I may be wrong. I may be wrong. He got basketball eyes.
Man, Caitlin was out there diamond.
I know all of that, Paul, but I just think for me, she just looked, I don't know, man. She just looked better.
Well, Gino tried to walk back his comments after the game saying, I don't know who said that recently. You know, yeah, okay, we'll see about that because I think Caitlin's going to have something for Paige on Friday night.
And that may be the case.
They played when they were freshmen, or going back 3 years ago in the Sweet 16, and UConn had a much better team, won 92-72, but Caitlin slightly outplayed her.
And I may have fell in love with her personality because she's just got a.
I'm saying, what from the eye test told you that yesterday?
Man,
Caitlin just put on an all-time performance.
I didn't say she didn't, Paul. That's not what I said. I just said I like her better. That's all. And maybe her personality because she talked the talk too. Like she got a little swag to her. So maybe I like that.
Paige was on her way to being Caitlin before her injuries.
That is true. She missed all of last year with a bad knee. Bad knee injury.
Well, she probably shouldn't have been in the game.
I'm going to start with a point that Paul made, but I'm going to reemphasize the fact that Angel Reese does deserve a little bit of a pass for last night because I think she turned her ankle pretty badly when Caitlin went up into her and sort of they hit midair and she stumbled under the upright and fell through the photographers. And I think she turned an ankle that she'd already turned the SEC tournament.
And the coach didn't even look.
Yeah, that is a fact. So I look at what she had done up to that point. At that moment when she turned her ankle, LSU was up 34-30, and she had made 5 out of 7 shots and looked like she was just going to play volleyball all night at the rim, tipping it to herself. After that, After she came back from that, she went 2 for 14, and in the second half, she went 1 of 10. Okay, you can't tell me it didn't hamper her a little bit, as you said.
You can tell.